see you. So good to see you. So many people asking about you.
How's it going?
Everything's great. So many people when they saw us on the flyer together.
Oh yeah.
I was getting calls. People wanting to meet you. I was in DC before I got here, and then one lady was like, "Man, y'all about to do a panel together?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know her." So I had to throw my little cool card out.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I can kidnap you easy.
That's very sweet. IQ is intellectual quotient, and EQ is emotional quotient. And EQ is probably more important than IQ on any given day. And so the more you can build that, the better. I met a guy here at the All-Star game who was working. He was an usher, and he didn't know where anything was when I asked him for directions. And when his boss came over and told him, "We told you where this was, and you have a map in your back pocket," he said, "Oh man, that was 4 days ago that I learned that." He literally said that to me. And I joked with him, but really, I mean, he's grown. He was grown. I'm not gonna say how old he was because it'll call him out. But I thought, that means that he doesn't really respect this job. And that's okay, you know, that's all right. But I feel like he's not gonna get very far with that type of mentality of, hey man, I'm just here to collect that check, make that money, and then go on to the next thing. There's an initiative behind someone who is working at a job that pays them $10 an hour, $8 an hour, $20 an hour, and yet you respect it and you're like, I'm gonna learn from this every day. Because I've been an usher, and I've been in his shoes, and what I would have been doing at the NBA All-Star Weekend, you know I would have been my best. So that anybody who came up to me thought, oh my gosh, that person was so good. So they talked about me maybe to my boss, or they just remembered me. If the next time they see me, they remember my face. Something about that. If I talk to 100 people this weekend, and I help 100 people this weekend as an usher, one person may lead to my next job. It's happened to me so many times, and it's happened to people I know. So it's not about just being. It's not about just existing. It's about thriving. Hello. How are you?
I'm Peter.
Arlan.
Arlan.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, appreciate you being here.
Great, thank you.
So we're doing a segment with Eskenazi Health in this segment. We'll take a break, and then you'll be in the very next segment.
Okay.
So I'll come get you here in about 5 minutes, and we'll take you to the studio and get you mic'd up.
No, that is not your bad, Angel. That is Elon Musk's bad. Feedback of all types are really, really good, important things to pay attention to. I'm going to say this straight up. I sometimes cannot process bad feedback quickly. I get kind of defensive, so I understand that instinct. But all feedback can be helpful to you depending on how you use it. Think of feedback as data. It's data that you're collecting. Same way you would survey somebody ahead of time to ask them what they want, getting the feedback after they've used your product or service is so impactful to your company, and it's useful. That's the biggest thing. You can take that feedback and immediately iterate on it. So if you get bad feedback, take a moment, take a beat and say, oh, that's hurtful, or that's offensive or whatever, and decide, is this a piece of feedback that I want to delve into? Now you can decide, hey, I'm gonna just put this and throw it away. It's not part of what I want to pay attention to. But you can say, have I heard this more than once? Is this something that is a recurring theme? And collect that data. And then what you can do is write a list of the feedback you're getting. And do this in real time if you can. Do this the same day you get it. Is there a way you can iterate on it? Now, with something that's like a digital product or something that is a piece of software, you can switched that up in the same day, within hours. So I do this all the time with my courses. It's an easy example. If I put a course out there, of course I've surveyed people to see if they really wanted that course to begin with, because we talked about that. Then, if I start to get feedback, whether it's just direct to me or it's in the comments, I'll read the comments and I may add something. Oh, someone's not getting what they need from this. Someone's not understanding me clearly. That's my bad. I need to correct that. I'll take that information, I'll synthesize it, and I'll act on it. That's a really useful way for you to use negative feedback to your benefit.
Tell us your name.
My name is Arlan Sims.
What do other people call you, or what have you been known for recently?
Recently, a lot of people call me Arlan's mama. And it was, of course, my first time ever going to Ireland. And one thing about the food there, it's not like the best, whatever. Yeah, it's just, it's kind of whatever. But we found this one little steakhouse that was just really, really, really good. And then we found out it was close to a hotel that we were staying at. And we found that you could go in a back road and go through like a alleyway and just circle around and get there. And the other thing about Ireland is that, there's no tipping or whatever. And the service is just fantastic, right? So we love this place, and so we started going like on a regular basis. So we were going, it was about 6 o'clock at night. It was still light and everything, and we were walking this back alley and everything. And, it's a foreign country, whatever. And then I hear, Arlan! Arlan! And I look up and there's this crowd hollering for Arlan. So I was like, Arlan. Yeah, so that's when I knew she was a big deal.
Thank you for sharing that.
I've interviewed hundreds of millionaires and billionaires. I've worked with hundreds of them, and then I've become one. There's so much information that I have picked up along the way. And what I realized mostly was, wait a second. First of all, almost anybody can be a millionaire. It's not for some special group of people. The second thing is, the skills needed to become a millionaire can be taught and handed out freely. When I learned those two things, I said, we have to get this information out to more and more people. It can't be this thing that we just look at and aspire to. To be honest with you, and this may break your heart, but you have more of a chance of becoming a millionaire than becoming an NBA star. So if the NBA, and there's some in the room, but if the NBA stars, if that dream is not with you right this moment, you have the backup plan of just being a millionaire. And it's quite attainable.
So I'm curious, why now? Why at this stage of your life have you become an entrepreneur?
I was always growing up told, if you have bad eyesight like I have, you need to wear the smallest glasses, as thin as you can get them. And what you're trying to do is conceal yourself. You don't want people to know you wear glasses, you're a bookworm, you're this, you're whatever. And also having listened to a lot of Arlan's talks about being yourself and showing yourself off or whatever, then I've come to realize that when I do wear large glasses, people are like, oh, I love your glasses, and that brings them to you. Mm. So they're part of you, necessarily part of me, because I need them to see, right? So I started wearing them, and I kept complaining, mostly to Arlan, that these aren't exactly right, and that these should be this, and these should be that. And she's finally said, well, why don't you do your own glasses?